Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. It is Starrapter here, coming at you with a spoiler-free review for the upcoming Star Wars novel, Queen's Peril, written by E.K. Johnston. This one isn't out until June 2nd, but you can pre-order it now wherever books are sold. I have a link to the Amazon page in the description down below. So E.K. Johnston is no stranger to Padme Amidala, as she has written the book that comes after the events of the Phantom Menace called Queen's Shadow. I have my review of that. So this book is actually taking place the day that Padme Amidala becomes queen. It actually takes us through the events of the Phantom Menace, which is, I think, the first time a canonical Star Wars story has really started out before a movie and kind of intersected into the movie itself, providing some different insight into what happens during the plot of the Phantom Menace, and I thought that was just awesome. So the story is really about Padme, about her relationship with Quars Panaka, as well as her relationship with all the handmaidens. And let's get into the positives for the story, because I do want to talk about the handmaidens, as they are such a vital role to Queen Padme's, or Queen Amidala's role as the Queen of Naboo, and without them, she wouldn't necessarily get to where she is now, and to be that kind of powerful figure requires her to have these people that help her out as decoys, as sort of spies, as liaisons, and it doesn't come without some strife, because these handmaidens are handpicked by Panaka from all over Naboo, and some of them are getting along. There's a lot of drama with these certain characters, and by the end of the story, we do get some resolution to a lot of these conflicts. Also, another thing I really enjoyed about this story is the backdrop for the Phantom Menace. So we get a lot more details about Palpatine and about the taxation and about all these things that set Naboo up for the prime suspect in this entire beginning of the Skywalker saga. So such a very big pivotal role with this book, just getting into the events that we know as the Skywalker saga. Very cool stuff there. I also really enjoyed how this story really fills in the gaps for a lot of moments in the Phantom Menace, such as we see what happens at Camp 4 when the Trade Federation takes over Naboo, and how awful it is for these people that are living under the rule of the Trade Federation, while we have Obi-Wan and while we have Qui-Gon Jinn and while we have Padme out there at Tatooine and Coruscant. These people of Naboo are suffering, so it adds a little bit more impact for the Phantom Menace for me. Also, I liked how this really intersects into the Queen's Shadow, because this book is promoted as the prequel to Queen's Shadow, and that is just a great thing for this character, because we get right into Queen's Shadow, and a lot of these characters transfer right over into that book because of Queen's Peril setting up these characters to have such a nice transition and a nice overall arc for a lot of these handmaiden characters. With that being said, I do want to get into the negatives for the story, and the first one is, because this is sort of a semi-novelization of the Phantom Menace, there are lots of moments where we get these short little clips of characters that aren't really related to Queen Amidala, and such as Jar Jar and Obi-Wan. We get a little bit about Darth Maul and some other characters, and I feel like some of these moments were just so far-fetched out of the main story that they didn't really kind of pace themselves very well with what was happening. That was another thing, is just the placement of these things really kind of messed with the pacing in my eyes, and especially when we get to that second third of the book, it really started to be like, okay, we're missing huge chunks of things from the Phantom Menace, which I would have really liked to see from the perspective of Padme Amidala. Also, another negative would be the real life kind of stuff that was brought up into this novel. I just feel like it didn't really feel right for Star Wars. There was some Earth words used that weren't used in Star Wars before, that kind of took me out of the experience. And finally, as a story that revolves around Padme Amidala, I feel by the end of this novel that I didn't really learn, unfortunately, a whole lot new about Padme Amidala in this. So with that being said, I will give Queen's Peril a score of a 6.5 out of 10. This isn't necessarily a book that is aimed for my interests, and I'm okay with that, because not every Star Wars book I'm gonna love, but I can recommend this for if you're a fan of Queen Amidala. If you're a fan of the Phantom Menace, I'm going to learn more about the backstory, I would recommend this one for you guys. And I'm just happy that this exists, that we have two novels now that are based on Padme Amidala, and in Legends we never even had a single one. So it's really cool for those fans out there that really love this character. You're gonna dig this. So are you guys thinking about picking up Queen's Peril? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. Also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you like this video, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel as I talk about plenty of other Star Wars books as well as comics and video games and more. That's gonna do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.